If you're dreaming of a Colorado lifestyle where you can enjoy beautiful Stanley Lake sunsets, morning views of the Rocky Mountains while you're on your commute, all while being very close to not only Denver's nightlife, but also the Boulder tech scene, well, then Westminster might already be at the top of your list. But before you go ahead and start moving, there are some surprising pros and cons that you should be aware of that just might break or make your decision to move here. In this video, I'm breaking down what it's really like to live in Westminster in 2025, from the great to the not so great. And hey, if you are new here or maybe you're a returning subscriber and you just need a reminder, I move people to Colorado that are just like you. If you are somebody that is thinking about moving to the area and you want help figuring out what city's right for you, what neighborhood's right for you, maybe where you need to be so that you're in close proximity to where you need to be for work, I want to help you. I would love to help you. And all of my information is going to be right here on the screen. And then it's also in the description below. So I have my calendar link in there, and that gives you the ability to schedule a one-on-one private Zoom link with me so that I can get to know you more and so that we can plan out your next move to get you here to Colorado. This is your no fluff, boots on the ground look at the real pros and cons of what it's like to live in Westminster in 2025. We're talking housing prices, commute realities, neighborhood vibes, weather patterns, and even things like school options and development trends, because these are the kind of details and questions that my clients ask me every single week when they're relocating from out of state, and I want you to be prepared just like they are. If Westminster is on your list, this video is going to help you decide if it's going to stay there. And if you want more straight up advice on how to relocate, live, and thrive in the state of Colorado, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit the like, and also hit that bell so that you can be notified every single time that I make a new video, because I want to educate you, I want to empower you, I want you to know what you're getting into, and I want this to make the most enjoyable experience possible, because Colorado is waiting for you and I can't wait to help you move here. Okay, let's get into this video. We're going to start off our video today with the pros, and the number one pro is going to be the location of Westminster. If you are somebody that wants to be very close to everything that the city of Denver offers, but also wants to be very close to everything outdoors that Boulder has to offer, Westminster is going to be a perfect fit for you. Westminster is only 16 miles away from Boulder, and it's only 9 miles away from downtown Denver. So on a good day, it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to get to the heart of Boulder and to get to any of my favorite hikes over there. And then it takes me about 20 to 25 minutes to get to downtown Denver, and about 35 minutes to get further down south into the Denver metro. And it only takes me about 45 minutes to get to the airport. So very conveniently located. We actually relocated from Longmont because of where Westminster is located and how convenient it is for the type of work I do to be located here. So if you are somebody that is a remote worker and you want to be close to everything, or if you just don't want to live in the city but still need to be near all of that, Westminster is going to be perfect for you because it is very conveniently located right in between Boulder and Denver, and you also have US 36 and I-25 that helps you get there conveniently. I do also want to mention that the RTD B line and also the Flatiron Flyer also runs in these areas. So if you are somebody that doesn't have transportation but also wants to be conveniently located so that you can get places, Westminster has public transportation that will get you all the way from Boulder to downtown Denver. So if you don't have a vehicle, it's really not a problem in Westminster, and you can still get around with the public transportation. Our second pro for today is going to be that Westminster has a very strong economy and very high household incomes compared to the national average. And right now, we are actually sitting at a median household income of $96,145 as of 2023. And this is actually 28% higher than the national average, which is sitting at $75,000 as of the same year. So in Westminster, you're going to make about 28% higher than the national average, which is incredible. And we also have a very strong job force. And part of what is leading to that, in my opinion, is that 47% of all adults in Westminster hold a bachelor's degree or higher. And this is also well above the national average. So in Westminster, you have people that are holding great jobs, they're getting paid great for these jobs, and then they're also educated. So Westminster is going to be a great place if you are a professional or an entrepreneur, or if you want a job in a great economy, or if you're somebody that just graduated college and you're looking for your next opportunity. Westminster is a great place for you to look. Our third pro is going to be the exposure to outdoor recreation and activities. And Westminster actually has over 145 plus miles of hiking and biking trails along Big Dry Creek and also Stanley Lake. And I love Big Dry Creek because my brokerage is about 15 minutes away from where I live. And with Big Dry Creek Trail, I can get on the bike, and in 45 minutes, I'm from my house to my brokerage, and it is such an enjoyable bike ride. You're right by the water, and it's very quiet, and the trail is seamless. Like, there's not a lot of bumps. It's really well managed, and you have gorgeous views of the Rocky Mountains while you're doing that. So if you want to be in Westminster, you have all of those trails available to you, and then you also have Stanley Lake that is in your backyard. You can go paddle boarding over there, you can go fishing, you can go boating, bird watching, hiking, whatever it is that you want. And you have a gorgeous view of the Rocky Mountains in the background. And then if that doesn't get you in the mountains enough, Boulder's 15 minutes away, and you have access to hiking, biking, fishing, snowboarding, skiing, and Boulder also has 500 plus trails on all trails. So you're never going to run out of things to do outside. It's gorgeous. So many people are doing it. So you really feel this need to get outside and be active, and it makes you feel good. People here are healthier than the national average, and it's because of how much opportunity we have to get outside and move. And whether you decide to stay in Westminster or drive 15 minutes to Boulder, 20 minutes to Golden, or even further down south, you have so much outdoor recreation and activities at your fingertips. So if you love the outdoors, Westminster is going to be a great place for you to live. Our fourth pro is that there's very diverse housing and neighborhood options. And what I mean by this is that Westminster has a very historical pocket, and those homes, some of them were built in the 1800s, and you can tell by the way that they look and just the vibe of the neighborhood that these are very older historical homes. And then you have places like Legacy Ridge and the Ranch Reserve, and these are luxurious, beautiful homes in a beautiful area, beautiful amenities, and then you're also on the golf course. So depending on the type of lifestyle you have, the neighborhood is really going to matter a whole lot, because if you are in the wrong neighborhood based on the type of lifestyle that you want to have, you're going to end up moving. And another thing to think of is that you really want to be strategic on where you are moving if you have kids and you need to be in certain schools. And so there's a lot of neighborhoods. Westminster is actually pretty big, and you also have 4 different counties. So there's a lot to consider, and the prices are also a big consideration too, because areas like Legacy Ridge and the Ranch, because they're on the golf course, you're going to be paying a lot more for that. You're going to be paying a lot more for that access, where neighborhoods like Shaw Heights are much more affordable. So if you are somebody that is thinking about moving to Westminster and you need help figuring out what neighborhood is the best for you, please reach out. I'd love to help you, and I'd love to provide you with some information so that you can really figure out where the best place is for you based on the type of lifestyle that you want to live here in Westminster, Colorado. Our fifth pro is going to be our schools. Westminster has incredible schools that are actually very highly ranked, not only in Colorado, but also across the nation. And Stargate Charter is actually ranked number 2 out of the entire state for K through 12. Prospect Ridge Academy has an A rating on niche. And then Westminster is also part of Adams 12 and Jeffco districts. And these are some of the best performing in the state. So we will get more into these schools in a different video, because there's actually a ton of schools in Westminster. So many more than what I had in New Mexico. We actually had 1 high school. And so we will break down these schools and where they're located and what the benefits are and why you might decide to enroll your kids in one over the other, and also where you want to move based on the decision that you make. Also, keep in mind that Boulder Valley School District is a very highly desirable school district. And in Westminster, Colorado, you are not part of that school district. So if you are somebody that is specifically moving to Colorado for that award-winning school district, please reach out to me so that I can send you boundaries so that you don't end up moving somewhere where you're not in the school district boundary. Okay, we're jumping into the cons, and our number one con today is going to be the housing prices and the cost of living. And while Westminster is going to be way more affordable than places like Boulder or Denver, you still have a median housing price that is sitting at $584,000 right now. So compared to different places in the country, this could be very shocking. And then if you are somebody that's coming from places like New York or California, Oregon, Washington, this might be something that you are pretty excited to hear. But Westminster does have a higher cost of living. The housing costs are actually 84% above the national average. And the cost of living index is sitting at 124, while our median rent is sitting at around $1,800 a month for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And that's equating out to over $22,000 a year in rental payments. So housing costs are more expensive in Westminster. The cost of living is more expensive in Westminster compared to the national average, but there's a reason for that. And the reason is that Colorado is a destination state. Everybody wants to move here. When you have demand, you do have an increase in the prices, and you do have access to beautiful Rocky Mountains here in Westminster. You have incredible views. You have an incredible job market, economy, great income. And unfortunately, that does come with a sticker price for the housing costs and for the cost of living. So my advice to you, if you're thinking about moving to Westminster or even Colorado in general, make sure that you have those numbers written down. Make sure that you know what you're making now, what you plan on making once you get a new job here in Colorado, and what that's going to look like, because the worst thing ever is moving to an absolutely gorgeous state, loving it here, but not being able to afford to live or thrive here. And I really want to make sure that you do it right. I want to make sure that you have an incredible experience. So if cost of living is something that's kind of hanging you up, let's get in touch and let's really run those numbers so that you're moving somewhere that is sustainable. Our second con is going to be the school district fragmentation and inconsistency. And while one of our pros was that Westminster has top performing and highly rated schools, on the flip side of that, Westminster also has underperforming schools that are lowly ranked. And because Westminster is split up with multiple school districts, and these include Adams 12 5-star, Jefferson County Public Schools, and Westminster Public Schools, you have some like Stargate and Prospect Ridge that are top rated, while there are others, especially in Westminster Public Schools, that are struggling with test scores and funding. So you really want to be clear on where you're moving, and you want to make sure that the neighborhood that you're moving to is in that school district, because if it's not and you end up at a school that you do not want to be at, you are going to have to move in order to be part of the school district that you want to be. So make sure that you are aware of this. Make sure that you talk to somebody. If you have questions, please reach out to me. I will provide you with boundary lines and help make it clear. But while Westminster has incredible schools, it also has schools that are low ranked, and you just want to, as a parent, be informed on that so that you're making the best decisions, not only for you, but for your children as well. Our third con is the traffic inconsistencies. So while I was saying that on a great day, you can get to Boulder in 15 minutes, on that same day, from 7:30-ish to 9 o'clock, it's going to take you about 30 minutes to get into Boulder. And on that same day, from 4 o'clock-ish to 6:30-ish, it's going to take you about 30 to potentially even 45 minutes to get out of Boulder. And part of this is because while US 36 and I-25 are very convenient, people are using them because they're convenient. And so there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of people in Colorado, and while we do have great transportation and infrastructure, it's not keeping up with the level of people that are here. And if you're moving to Westminster and you're somebody that is going to commute to Denver or Boulder for work, you need to be aware of the rush hour times, and you need to be aware that your commute is not always going to be 15 minutes. Our fourth con is going to be the weather. Like everywhere in Colorado, things can change very quickly. You can go from having an absolutely gorgeous day to having a tornado in your backyard. So even though we are in the mountains, we are not spared from crazy weather. You can have crazy hail. And I'm going to show you guys some pictures from just this past week because the hail is breaking windshields. And while this is not meant to turn you off of Colorado and this is not meant to scare you, I do want to make sure that you do not have buyer's remorse. And I want to make sure that where you are moving is the place that you belong. So Colorado has crazy weather. And while you are able to enjoy all four seasons, some days you also have all four seasons. And you really want to be aware of this because the storms get a little crazy, the hail gets a little crazy, fire season sometimes gets a little crazy, and all of the beauty does also come with some of these risks. Our fifth con is going to be that Westminster does not have a very well established downtown area. And while they are doing a lot to build up this place and to bring more people, and they're putting in restaurants, and they're actually creating a really neat new center park there, and they're doing a lot for the area, it still has a long ways to be. And where you have places like Pearl Street and Boulder, or you have Longmont's Main Street where you can walk and look at all the shops and just really enjoy yourself and make a day out of walking the downtown. Westminster's downtown is very small and not all of the shops are filled right now. So it is definitely lacking the energy. I'm really hoping that at the end of 2025, when they finish this park, that it's going to bring a lot of new faces and energy to the area. And there's going to be a dog park and a splash pad and areas for concerts. So the city is doing an incredible job at getting it where it needs to be. But as somebody that is making the decision to move here, you should really know that the downtown of Westminster is not comparable to places like Boulder or Longmont or even Denver, and it has a long way to go. But if you do live in Westminster, you can rest easy knowing that the city is doing its part in building up the attraction to the area and making sure that there is a lot that is available to the residents. All right, that was your pros and cons of what it's like living in Westminster in 2025. And if you stuck around to the end, I would say that you're pretty serious in relocating to Colorado in general. And if that's you, I would love to connect. Again, all of my information is going to be in the description below, and I'll also put it right here. And just know that I'm your partner in this. I really want to help you make this as streamlined and stress-free and enjoyable as possible. So if you're ready to move to Colorado and you want some help, definitely reach out and make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you in the next video.